At the peak of the divine plan for humanity's redemption, the final moments of Jesus' life on the cross were marked by intense physical and spiritual agony. Mount Calvary, also known as Golgotha, became the backdrop for the supreme expression of love and sacrifice. The journey to Calvary began with Jesus carrying his own cross, symbolizing the weight of sins. The Via Crucis, also known as the Way of the Cross, represents the path Jesus traveled from the Praetorium to Calvary, a path marked by suffering. As the Son of God, he proceeded facing mockery, insults, and physical exhaustion. The crown of thorns pressed upon his head symbolized the rejection and contempt he was about to endure. Nailed to the cross, Jesus experienced a new agony with his wrists and feet pierced by nails, physical witnesses to the price he was willing to pay. The weight of his body suspended on the cross increased respiratory difficulty, turning each breath into a struggle amid unbearable pain. Even in the midst of this suffering, Jesus uttered words of forgiveness. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Luke 23:34. Around him, spectators witnessed the Messiah's final moments. 2 criminals were crucified beside him, and one, touched by divine grace, acknowledged Jesus' innocence and asked to be remembered when he entered his kingdom. Jesus responded with words of hope. "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Luke 23:43. Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to receive interesting content every day. Let's begin at the climax of the crucifixion. Darkness descended upon the earth, a cosmic phenomenon echoing the intensity of the moment. This is our first notable event. The darkness that enveloped the earth after Jesus' death, as recorded in Matthew, is a phenomenon laden with hidden meanings, much like the parables spoken by Jesus. This period of darkness, persisting from noon until 3 in the afternoon, cannot simply be attributed to natural causes like an eclipse. Rather, it is presented as a divine intervention, a cosmic sign accompanying the crucial moment of the crucifixion. In ancient times, darkness was often associated with mourning and the death of notable figures. Prominent theologians interpret this darkness as a symbolic moment, where God, by darkening the earth, expresses his grief over the death of his Son, indicating the temporary withdrawal of divine light due to the significance of the sacrifice. This intense daytime darkness is undoubtedly a sign of divine judgment on Jesus' death, an idea reinforced and in line with Old Testament prophecies, such as Amos 8:9, which mentions that God would cause the sun to go down at noon. This prophetic realization highlights the validation of scriptures and divine sovereignty. It was during this darkness that Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" These words confirmed the fulfillment of the scriptures and revealed the burden he bore in taking on the sins of the world. The culminating moment approached when Jesus proclaimed, "It is finished," John 19:30. At that instant he bowed his head and yielded up his spirit, and the earth, here occurs an earthquake where rocks split and tombs are opened, the second event of transcendent cosmic magnitude that impacts not only spiritually, but also nature itself, as recorded in Matthew 27:51. The earth shook and rocks split at the moment of Jesus' death. This earthquake was not merely a geological phenomenon, it was a response of creation itself to the crucifixion of the Son of God. The rocks, symbols of the earth's solidity and stability, shattered before this divine event, bearing witness to the gravity of the sacrifice that took place. The earthquake described led to another majestic occurrence. It's crucial to note that the region of Palestine, due to its geological characteristics, is situated on a major fault line. Earthquakes and movements of tectonic plates caused damage to tombs originally constructed of stone. As a result, the tombs were opened, and several bodies of saints, righteous individuals who had died, were resurrected. These saints who had departed emerged from their tombs after Jesus' resurrection and appeared to many people in the sacred city of Jerusalem. This resurrection of the saints is one of the most notable and singular events recorded in the narrative of the crucifixion. The earthquake, the opening of the tombs, and the resurrection of these saints are directly attributed to divine intervention. The resurrected saints became a visible representation of Jesus' victory over the dominion of death, foreshadowing what was to come for all who put their faith in him. The term holy people likely refers to pious figures from the Old Testament, such as heroes and martyrs from Israel's history, intentionally chosen to miraculously witness these events. Their notable appearance in the Holy City not only reinforces the significance of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, but also effectively highlights his triumph over the power of death. This extraordinary event finds explanation in the teachings of Paul as mentioned in Corinthians 15:20-23. Paul emphasizes the presence of Christ's resurrection as the first fruits of the dead, indicating that just as Christ was raised, those who belong to him will also be raised, each in their own order. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 27, verses 50 and 51, the narrative meticulously describes a striking moment. A notable phrase is highlighted. Jesus, crying out with a loud voice, yielded up his spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth shook, and the rocks were split. It is relevant to emphasize this significant event in the temples of that time, where there was a veil separating the sacred area of the temple from the most sacred part, known as the Holy of Holies. This veil was not just a physical curtain, it was a representation of the separation between God and humanity. Only the high priest was allowed to enter, and this happened only once a year through the blood of animals offered for sins. The act of tearing the veil, as recorded in Matthew, goes beyond a physical event, entering the realm of symbolism and spirituality. The tearing of the veil symbolizes the removal of the barrier between God and people through Jesus' sacrifice on the cross. At this crucial moment, only the high priest could enter the Holy of Holies on the Day of Atonement. However, when the veil was torn from top to bottom, it indicated that the barrier between God and humanity was permanently removed. God's action of tearing the veil represents direct and unrestricted access to him through Jesus' sacrifice. The book of Hebrews in chapter 10 verses 19 and 20 explains this meaning. Therefore, brothers, since we have confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way opened for us through the curtain, that is, his body. This passage in Hebrews invites us to have confidence to enter the most holy place through the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way that he opened for us through the veil symbolizing his body. Thus, the revelation of the tearing of the veil emerges as a symbolic and impactful representation of divine love and mercy, indicating that Jesus' sacrifice on the cross not only opened a way but resonates as an invitation for all to approach him with confidence and boldness, eliminating the need for intermediaries or ceremonial rituals. Furthermore, a fifth aspect worthy of highlighting is the figure of the centurion, whose crucial role during the crucifixion extended beyond merely carrying out imperial orders. As a military leader responsible for hundreds of soldiers, the centurion ensured that the crucifixion proceeded smoothly, requiring courage and efficiency. However, during Jesus' crucifixion, he and his fellow soldiers witnessed extraordinary events, earthquakes, darkness, and other cosmic phenomena, leaving them astonished and filled with admiration. In this divine context, the centurion made the striking declaration, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." This statement was not made lightly. The centurion, accustomed to witnessing deaths and executions, recognized in the events he witnessed that Jesus was innocent and faced crucifixion with dignity, responding to injustice with remarkable grace. The centurion's confession represents a vivid testimony of the profound impact Jesus' death had even on the hardest of hearts. He, who had overseen countless executions, acknowledged Jesus' uniqueness as the Son of God. This shift in perspective reveals the power of the message of the cross, capable of touching hearts and transcending cultural and social barriers. The Roman centurion, unwittingly, became an important figure in the chain of witnesses, proclaiming the truth about Jesus as the awaited Messiah. I hope you have enjoyed the reflection provided in this video. If you've made it this far, the suggested video will appear on your screen. Click to watch and delve even deeper into biblical stories. Thank you for your attention, and may everyone remain in God's grace. See you soon.